My name is Allie Massner, and I'm from Mediapolis, Iowa, which is really just about 25 minutes east of here. My major is elementary education, and I'm minoring in psychology and working toward endorsements in reading, early childhood education, and special education. So that's it. Well, like I said, I have always wanted to be a teacher. Most kids want to be something crazy and exciting when they're a kid, like, a race car driver or an astronaut or whatever, and I wanted to be a teacher. So, like I said, I just had a couple really good elementary teachers. My kindergarten teacher, my third grade teacher, people that I still talk to all the time that are still teaching, and they've been there for a long time, and that's like what I want to be like. They're still as bright and cheerful as they always have been, and I want to be, in my 60s, in my 50s, still feeling like that. So I get a lot of joy from helping kids. All summer long I tutored a boy with autism, and I just really enjoy working with kids like that, because you can see when it clicks in their head, and I love that feeling. They always say that if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's exactly how I feel when I spend time in the classroom. So it's normal again. I'm with her, I'm playing on the same team as her, because playing the sport that we both love the most, basketball, has always been our favorite. So we work well together on the court, we always have, and now I'm living with her, and that people were pretty doubtful of how well that would go, but so far it's pretty good. We argue a lot, just as every set of sisters does, but we are each other's best friends, so I like being here with her. I wouldn't want college any other way, I don't think. Well, if I could have any superpower, I would probably have witch's powers, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or off of the movie Twitches, because then you can just do whatever you want. You can have any superpower, you get to make up spells, and you just point with your finger, and there it is. I think it would have been pretty cool to see Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon, because that was the year that my mom was born. It was actually just a few days after that. And my dad was really young, so he doesn't really remember it, but I think it would have been pretty cool, because that happens all the time now, astronauts going up to the moon, but I think it would have been pretty amazing for it to happen the first time. I think that my biggest accomplishment would have to be when my basketball team in high school, when I was a sophomore, we made it to state for the first time in school history, in the 5-on-5 era anyway. It was my mom's team, her senior year in 1987 was the last team to make it to state, but that was in the 6-on-6 era. So when my sister and I's team made it in 2014, that was pretty cool, because then we made it again in 2015. So that was pretty awesome. Everybody says that their family's important to them, but I feel that on such a deep level. Both my mom and dad sides of the families are wonderful, but I'm especially close to my mom's because they're all right here close together. My mom has a brother and a sister, and they all have kids, and we all grew up right in southeast Iowa, and we see each other on a weekly basis, even now while we're in college, and half of them are adults and have their own children and stuff. We have family group chats, we're always talking in, and my family is just, they're so funny and they're so supportive of one another. Whenever, up until my grandpa was was even in bad health, he still came to every basketball game and football game of my brothers and my cousins, and baseball and softball and volleyball and everything that he could be at. He was there. Wrestling meets, it didn't matter what it was, he wanted to see his grandkids, and I just aspire to be as much of a family person as he was, to always put my family before everything else. So I was never planning on playing a college sport. I can definitely say that. I never really thought about it. I didn't think it was going to happen unless I went to like a JUCO, which I didn't really want to do. And at the point that I was at in my college schooling, at the end of high school, like I was already done with a lot of credits, so I wasn't going to go to a JUCO. I would have been there for half a semester. So my sister was already here. I had never considered coming here before she came here. And people think that I followed her here, but I didn't. I got a full tuition scholarship, like that's why I'm here, and I get to keep playing the game that I love. So I guess I've been in so many activities my whole life just because, well, for one thing, I like to stay busy. I don't like to be bored, but I like to push myself a lot. Sometimes I push myself too hard and I have a mental breakdown once in a while, but I always know that it's going to pay off eventually. So I've added all these endorsements to my major, and eventually I kind of want to get my talented and gifted endorsement too, but I can't do that here. I would have to do that through like the University of Iowa or something, but I don't know, I want to have all those things on my resume and like have all those, accolades by the time I get out of college, because I want to get a job right out of college. And I don't know, like I said, I crave achievement. I like to accomplish things. It sounds, like I said, it sounds bad to say this, but I want to be the best at everything. Like I like to be good at stuff, and not in like a cocky, showy-offy way. I just want to be good at things for my own self. Like I feel like the feeling of accomplishment of like getting, finishing something that I've worked so hard on, or getting back a good grade on a test I studied really hard for. Like things like that. Like that's what motivates me, is those types of things, that kind of feedback from the things that I want to be good at. So it's not about being the best, really, just about the best that I know that I can be, because I know my potential and I know that I can do a lot of things that I set my mind to. There's a lot of things I sit at my desk at night when I'm like about to start homework and I'm like, oh, how am I ever going to do this? How am I ever going to get this done? But I've never not gotten things done. Like I make myself, whether it doesn't matter what it takes. If I don't sleep, that's how it's gonna be. Like I have to get things done. I like to accomplish things in the best possible way that I can.